Devin seems to think that John Brzenk would be a great match. I did talk to John about this in the past. So after working with East versus West, to answer that question, no, I do not think that we will be collabing on an arm wrestling event in the future.
It looks like Bryan Shaw jumped into the promotional side of arm wrestling way too quick for his own good. So when East vs West 19 was falling apart, Bryan was requested by Devin to help organize that event through a collaboration with the Strongest Man on Earth competition, which Bryan was already organizing in Colorado. But now, because of that, it seems that Bryan has not only lost his interest in organizing events, in fact, he clearly mentioned that he won't be collaborating with East vs West again. He has also lost interest in training for arm wrestling, and that is not good for the arm wrestling fans. In his Q&A video, Bryan answered many arm wrestling questions. In his previous interview with Brandon Allen, he was saying that he's unsure when he's going to compete, he's unsure who he's going to compete against. But now Bryan has revealed that he would like his opponent to be John Brzenk. Devin suggested John's name to Bryan, and Bryan thinks it makes sense to him. But for that match to happen, John needs to be comfortable with that match too. Bryan said that despite coming back from a back surgery, John, even at the age of 61 or 62, is still a monster. He's still going to be difficult to deal with. So many people are saying that this is a huge mismatch. Bryan is going to get killed by John Brzenk, and almost all of the viewers know that I have always been heavily criticizing Bryan Shaw's arm wrestling abilities. Not just his technique, but also his arm wrestling strength. And even I am saying that this is going to be a good match, because we need to consider that even if this match is confirmed, it's not going to happen next month. It's not going to happen this year. It will still probably take maybe 6 months from now. And at this age, at this point in his career, I don't see John Brzenk training for a Bryan Shaw match. He's just going to have maybe a couple of training sessions every month, and then he's going to drink his beer and chill, while Bryan Shaw will be consistently getting stronger. So 6 months from now, I think it is a cool match. And they're also considering a lot of other arm wrestlers as possible opponents for Bryan Shaw. So that also needs to be kept in mind. So when I mentioned that Bryan has clearly said that he won't be collaborating with East versus West ever again, it's not because he had to suffer some losses because of the East versus West event collaboration. In fact, it was the other way around. Bryan said that it was because of East versus West that the strongman competition was also helped.
The Strongest Arm on Earth, the arm wrestling event that happened on Friday, actually helped the strongman.
So when people were saying that Bryan took $50,000 from strongman competition and paid the arm wrestlers, it was in fact the other way around. Arm wrestling helped a little bit by taking some of the cost and saved the strongman competition, as per Bryan Shaw. So the future of Strongest Arm on Earth is uncertain. And even the Strongest Man on Earth competition 2026, that is uncertain too. Bryan and his wife are rethinking about this choice, because yes, they did suffer some losses because of strongman competition this year. It's not just about the losses. It is taking a lot from their life.
And I work more behind closed doors than I think people realize, and I'm very, very dedicated to what I do.
And I would say I don't want to see Bryan as an event organizer yet. He only had one super match, and he entered arm wrestling as an organizer at maybe the worst possible time that he could have entered arm wrestling in. East versus West was falling apart. There were lots and lots of controversies. Athletes were quitting. Not the best time to join as a promoter. And Bryan is not just the strongest man on earth. He's not just an arm wrestler. He's also a businessman. So let's not pretend that Bryan didn't see any benefit in collaborating with East versus West and he just did it because Devin requested him to do so. Maybe he also saw an opportunity because the event was falling apart. Maybe he thought he could also gain a little bit out of it. I'm not sure. I'm just guessing here. But this possibility couldn't be neglected completely. He made that decision, and because of that decision, we don't want him to quit arm wrestling. He needs to stay here. Thanks for watching, like the video, and I'll see you again.